If you've ever wondered why Muslims speak so often about the Quran, this video is for you. Because here's something many people don't realize. Islam did not begin with the Quran, and Muslims don't believe that God spoke only once in history. In Islam, God sent guidance long before the Quran to people who lived real lives, who struggled, hoped, searched for meaning, and asked the same questions we ask today. So the real question isn't whether Islam replaced earlier messages. The real question is, what does Islam say actually happened to them? If you've ever felt confused by different scriptures or overwhelmed by religious arguments online, this is a calm place to understand the Islamic view, step by step, without debate and without pressure. One of the most important things Islam teaches is that God did not leave humanity without guidance. From the earliest generations, God sent messengers to guide people, reminding them of truth, justice, responsibility, and accountability. Islam does not present itself as a new religion in belief, but as a continuation of the same core message that God is one, that human life has purpose, and that we are accountable for our choices. The Quran speaks about many prophets who came before Muhammad, peace be upon them all. Among them are Noah, Abraham, Moses, David, and Jesus. Believing in these prophets is not optional in Islam. It is a required part of faith. A Muslim cannot believe in the Quran while rejecting the prophets who came before it. In Islam, faith is not only about believing in God, it also includes believing that God revealed guidance to humanity. This guidance came through prophets, and revelation existed long before the Quran. Islam teaches that denying earlier revelation is not acceptable. When Islam speaks about earlier scriptures, it does so with recognition and respect. According to Islamic belief, God revealed the Tawrāt to Moses, peace be upon him. He revealed the Zabūr to David, peace be upon him. And he revealed the Injīl to Jesus, peace be upon him. These were real revelations sent by God, meant to guide specific people during specific times. They were not myths, and they were not human inventions. However, Islam makes an important distinction. It differentiates between the original revelation sent by God and what later existed in written or transmitted form. Islam teaches that the original revelations were divine and true. At the same time, it teaches that these scriptures were entrusted to their communities without a divine guarantee of preservation. Over time, human involvement played a role. Through memory, writing, interpretation, translation, and loss, changes occurred. Islam does not provide detailed accusations or historical timelines. It does not focus on blame. It simply states a theological principle. The original form of earlier scriptures is no longer fully preserved in its complete form. This belief is not meant to dismiss or disrespect others. Rather, it explains why Islam does not rely on earlier scriptures as its final authority today, not because they were false, but because they were time-bound and not preserved in full. This leads to an important question. If guidance already existed, why was another revelation needed? Islam teaches that earlier scriptures were sent to specific communities for specific periods of time. As humanity expanded, cultures changed, and societies became interconnected, a final message was revealed. This final message was not limited to one people or one land, but addressed to all of humanity. The Quran presents itself as a confirmation of earlier truths, a clarification where differences appeared, and a completion of the message. It does not describe itself as erasing the past, but as preserving the core guidance moving forward. One of the central beliefs in Islam about the Quran is that God took responsibility for its preservation. This preservation is understood in multiple ways, through memorization, through written transmission, and through widespread recitation across generations and regions. This is why the Qur'an holds a unique position in Islam, not because earlier scriptures lacked value, but because the Qur'an is believed to be the final preserved revelation. With finality comes responsibility, not superiority. This understanding shapes how Muslims are taught to view other faiths and believers. Islam teaches respect for all prophets and all sincere seekers of God. Muslims are instructed not to mock, insult, or belittle other beliefs. At the same time, they are taught to follow the Qur'an as their ultimate source of guidance. This balance is essential: respect without confusion, clarity without hostility, faith without arrogance. So when Islam speaks about earlier scriptures, it does so with honesty, recognition, and calm clarity. They were revealed, they guided people, and they played their role in human history. The Qur'an did not come to erase what came before. It came to complete the chain of guidance and preserve the message for generations to come. Understanding this replaces confusion with calm and argument with understanding. If you're seeking a quiet, respectful understanding of Islam, you're welcome here.